اللهم لولا أنت ما اهتدينا ولا تصدقنا ولا صلينا اللهم لولا أنت ما اهتدينا.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. How is everyone doing? What's happening so far? We are back with another live. What is this? Okay. Yes, StreamYard's been keep on changing and changing and changing. Anyways, link to join in the comments. Topic of discussion today is the Gospel of John and how um, Jews thought what Jesus had been saying in the entire gospel and how they were taking all of those things in a positive or a negative or misunderstanding him or whichever manner you want to put it. So the things we are going to be discussing are, let me go to my PowerPoints. Let me open this one, share it with you guys. All right. Here we go. Share screen, share the window, share the PowerPoint. Let me see if you guys can see it. It's asking me to rate PowerPoint right at the very minute. All right. Regardless of that. All right. This is what we are going to be talking about. And we are going to be doing switching between the windows to see the verses that I'm coding, how and where they are, and we are going to go through a bit of scholarship and commentary. Probably I would prefer going through the commentaries of Bible Hub for now, because these ones are a bit too advanced, and sometimes a lot of people, they don't understand it, especially when you're trying to make them think outside the box. It's a bit hard on them. All right, so Jews misunderstanding Jesus in the Gospel of John. The verses in discussion today will be chapter 3, verse 10, chapter 3, verse 25, chapter 5, verse 18, chapter 5, verse 39, chapter 6, verse 52, chapter 7, verse 20 and 27. And then obviously we're going to discuss John 8, 58, the infamous Exodus reference. So the gist of it is that the high rank Jew misunderstands Jesus twice. The group of Jews argue with John's disciples. Healing on Sabbath forbidden. Calling God Father is blasphemous. Jews don't recognize prophecies of Jesus in Old Testament. Jews don't understand Jesus talking about spiritual food. Jews think Jesus is demon possessed, act oblivious on plotting, misunderstand origins of Messiah. And we are open to discussing a few commentaries. There are, the OGs one like Raymond Brown and stuff. Then there are some which are new, like Marianne Thompson is there. This one's there. C.K. Barrett is there. Craig S. Keener is there. And a bit of overview about these things. I don't know. Did I stop sharing it? What happened? Did I press something which I was not gonna press? Here we go. Okay. All right. So here it is. Just a second. Let me try finding. Yeah. So this was the slide we were talking about. So there are commentaries. John Chrysostom is there. A few of others are there. And they are really good. C.K. Barrett is good. Like you can have Adela Collins or uh, Joel Marcus's commentaries on the Gospel of Mark. Just like that, Anchor Yale Bibles, Raymond S. Brown's commentaries there. This one, let me see if you guys can see it. Yeah. So Raymond S. Brown's there. You can check. There's a German one of Boltmann. C.K. Barrett is he's a British critical scholar, very famous commentary. His credentials are through the roof, very good. It's very strong on Greek text and historical theology. Just a thing, if you are not interested in buying a book for like 80, 90 bucks, you can have a PDF. It's free, but the PDFs are basically scans. So if you're trying to find something, it's going to be a little bit different. And especially if you're a new person being exposed to these commentaries, what happens is that you don't know the styles of that commentary. So you're trying to find that verse, you're trying to find that chapter, but it doesn't happen to be that when you get frustrated. So sometimes Control F works if you're looking for, let's say, John um, 7 something, stuff like that, John 10:30, John 17:20. It works, but you need to know how commentaries work, because some people, they cite the verses, then they make the comments on it of their own, or they make some other references before them citing their opinion, and then it starts with a commentary. So stuff like that. D.A. Carson is there. His It's kind of like an evangelical perspective to that thing. But he messaged me. Lewis Martin is there. It's not verse by verse commentary, so it's gonna be like a paragraph kind of, uh, Johannine community, anti-Judaism type, but it's very enormously influential, so to speak. And the ones I have included, obviously, Craig S. Keener is there, Maloney is there too, and but I would prefer if like you want to go with like top three, and you're not concerned about something being dated, something being old, or something in 2020s, 2020, 2021, 2022. I would go with Brown, Boltman, and C.K. Barrett, and you'll get critical, liberal, conservative, Greek text, historical context, all the theories and everything in there. Modern one, if you want to go like really, really, like the one I have included is Marianne Thompson's commentary. David Ford is there. You can check him out. Ramsey Michaels is there, um, and so on and so forth. So let's discuss the ones I am going to use. So the styles, as I was talking about, I haven't put everything in this presentation. Starts with, chapter 3 with Nicodemus. Uh, but, this is one style, how the commentaries work. Then you have a different style where commentaries work like this. This is a different style of commentary working. So this one, you see this 10. So this is basically split into two, and there's a top part where the 2 3 verses are mentioned, and then there's a split of verses and their explanation. So sometimes you see Christians coming up and they're like, "Oh, you haven't read any commentaries. You haven't even read the Bible. You haven't picked up the Gospels. How dare you talk about our Lord and Savior like this and that?" So it's just for them to, when you open your Discord or other things which you want to talk about, and then they become hyper skeptics, like he doesn't really mean this, doesn't really mean these. Okay, I grant you that you have done that. I'm a bit rusty on these things, but this, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. So first we're gonna do plain reading of the text, and then we can go over these things if need be, and we'll see how things shape up. Discord's going crazy, man. I don't know what's going on. Let me just power it off. We'll pick it up if need be. And let's remove this from here and go for. Let's go to Bible Gateway and Bible Hub both at the same time. And All right. So let's do John chapter 3, 10 and 25. These sometimes, the ads are really uncalled for with the kind of stuff they're putting on Bible Gateway. Right, let's do John chapter 3 right here. Go for it. Verse in question is 10 and 25. So go at 3, not right now. Alrighty. So let's do Bible Gateway first. See if you guys can see this. Uh, it should be like this. Here we go. All right. So now there was a Pharisee named Nicodemus. We don't know about Nicodemus other than, whatever you theories you want to make up in your mind, especially with all the gospels being circulating, mentioning one person or the other. This is the one. Jesus answered him, "Are you a teacher of Israel, and yet you do not understand these things?" She's talking about born of the flesh, born of the spirit, the wind blows, this and that. And we're going to look into this verse, and then we're going to look into the verse 25, which states that now a discussion about purification arose between John's disciples and a Jew. Okay. Now, if we move to the commentary part, all right, perfect. Here we go. So, this one, let's go to, we can go to Pulpit or Barnes Notes. I'm going to see Gill's exposition is there. We can read a little bit of this, talks about, so this one's, sorry, it's just KGV, guys. That's how things work sometimes, Jesus basically is taunting someone, saying that you are supposed to be a wise man and this and that, and you can understand these language. What I mean when I'm talking about born of flesh and born of spirit. So there is a reference of dry bones in Deuteronomy 36, and this one's gonna be more or less the same thing. It's talking about a teacher of Israel. The same word is used in the second word, translated as teacher. It was not new, but was clearly taught in Old Testament, and these are the references. Surprising that a man whose business it was to teach people should be a stranger to so plain and important doctrine. But when worldly minded men are placed in offices of religion, when they seek those offices for the sake of ease or reputation, so basically, he's saying the same thing. He was not understanding what Jesus was trying to say. And if we go to pulpit, again, same thing. The term used 4 times by John. These are the references. Uh, in each place, the high dignity, calling, and glory of the nation chosen for the loftiest privilege and destiny are involved. Notice the article, the Israel of God, a wise man, Hakim, say Hakim in Arabic as well, representative fashion, this and that. All these things are talking about this. Now, another thing I want to mention is that Sheikh Thomas Aquinas has also written about these things. Yeah, I think I can give you bit of his a bit of his works. Sheikh Aquinas. So this kind of things are uh, What seems to be the problem? This is the problem, that you think he was the king of the Jews. He wasn't. He wasn't king of anything, brother. Anyways, I'm just gonna talk about these. So this is how, and obviously they're trying to tie in because I think he died. He was 49 years old when he died. But these are the kind of things, uh, very heavily convoluted, theological things, which had nothing to do with first century Jerusalem, so to speak, for the fishermen to speak like this. So I have done a bit of these, but obviously you'll find these high Christology in all of these commentaries, especially from Aquinas. That doesn't really make sense, much of it. But when you do the plain reading of the text, we have done two verses, and we're gonna, let's do a bit of commentaries on this one. Come on. So it's talking about purification, how Jews were doing something else, then baptism came into the scene, this and that. Benson's commentary is good on this. Barnes' notes are there. They were disputing about these things, about purification, the precise subject. Uh, and all of this is, just building up to the main, sort of climax in John 8:58. So let's do chapter 5, verses 18 and 39. Chapter 5, Bible Gateway first, and then commentaries if need be. Alrighty. Let me make it a bit bigger. Here we go. So let's do 18 first and then 39 second. My God. So this is the one. For this reason, the Jews were seeking all the more to kill him, because he was not only breaking the Sabbath, but was also calling God his own Father, thereby making himself equal to God. So there are three claims in here, which we are going to go into. But let's do uh, 39 first. So this one says that you search the scriptures because you think that in them you have eternal life, but it is they that testify on my behalf. Okay, so just with the plain reading of the text, you can see another form of misunderstanding, even in chapter 5. Now let's do, actually just stay on Bible Gateway. Let's do these first, and then we can read commentaries on this. Let's go to chapter 6, verse 52, I'm guessing. So this one again states the same thing, same lines. The Jews then disputed among themselves, saying, how can this man give us his flesh to eat? Now, if you read this book, where is it? Right here. When you do historical critical method, you get to know what things are made up and what you can extract out from that. This is the book right here, Paul and Jesus by Dr. James D. Tabor. And in this one, he's going to talk about, I've read this multiple times, see all these marks. This one talks about how it would have been absolutely insane idea for to even suggest that Jesus as a Jew was claiming that, if someone eats his flesh and drinks his blood, he will achieve afterlife. Okay? So that's that. Now, let's go to chapter 7, verses 20 and 27, talking about demon possession and stuff. I was gonna do a recording and make it more like, animated and stuff, but it's fine if we do it on live stream. It's not a big deal. Sometimes you can get everything in order, especially when it's Ramadan. All right, so verse 20, the crowd answered, "You have a demon who is trying to kill you." That's their question. Okay. And 27 states, "Yet we know where this man is from, but when the Messiah comes, no one will know where he is from." Okay. So these are a few references before we go to the OG chapter, chapter 8. With first few verses missing, obviously, because they're prone to all of this is just added into it for no reason. And now one would wonder that if you have found fourth century manuscripts where this story was added, if you find third century manuscripts and second century manuscripts, how much more would you find is being added to the Gospels? All right, let's go to verse 40 and read from here and further solidify the claim. Just need to be, open minded and let the thoughts flow by and think about it from a rational point of view so that you know what's being discussed. All right. Now, let me see if you guys can see this. Okay, perfect. "But now you are trying to kill me, a man who has told you the truth that I heard from God." Okay, this is important. "This is not what Abraham did. You are indeed doing what your father does." They said to him, "We are not illegitimate children. We have one father, God himself." So calling God Father, calling himself Son of God, none of those are in that Jewish first century language, which they find abhorrent or, such an insane idea that someone's claiming to be God. And he already said that he heard all these things from God. Now, so Jesus said to them, "If God were your father, you would love me, for I come from God, and now I am here. I did not come on my own, but he sent me. Why do you not understand what I say? It is because you cannot accept my word. You are from your father, the devil, and you choose to do your father's desires. He was a murderer from the beginning and does not stand in the truth because there is no truth in him. When he lies, he speaks according to his own nature, for he's a liar and the father of lies. But because I tell the truth, you do not believe me. Which of you convicts me of sin? If I tell the truth, why do you not believe me? Whoever is from God hears the words of God. The reason you do not hear them is that you're not from God." So if Jesus was claiming to be God by saying, "I am from God," then Jesus already equated himself with them that you are also from God. Okay, Jews answered, "Are we not right in saying that you are a Samaritan and have a demon?" So if you're going to take everything which Jesus was saying as literal, you would make even Jesus a Samaritan and demon possessed. So what's going to happen with the lineage of David and stuff? Okay. Now, Jesus answered, "I do not have a demon, but I honor my Father, and you dishonor me. Yet I did not seek my own glory. There is one who seeks it, and he is the judge. Very truly, I tell you, whoever keeps my word will never see death." The Jews said to him, "Now we know that you have a demon. Abraham died, and so did the prophets, yet you say, 'Whoever keeps my word will never taste death.' Are you greater than our father Abraham, who died? The prophets also died. Who do you claim to be?" Jesus answered, If I glorify myself, my glory is nothing. It is my Father who glorifies me, he of whom you say he is our God." So he's saying, Hashem, uh, the one you call God, he's the one who glorifies me. Though you do not know him, but I know him. If I were to say that I do not know him, I would be a liar like you, but I do know him and I keep his word. Your ancestor Abraham rejoiced that he would see my day. He saw it and was glad. So there's no indication of Jesus saying that he saw Abraham's day. He said that Abraham saw my day, which was like kind of like a projection of predestined, always existing in the planned Messiah, and Abraham knew about it. That's what he meant. But they again misunderstand him. They're like, then the Jews said to him, "You are not yet 50 years old, and have you seen Abraham?" So you see clear contrast between two verses. Jesus said to them, "Very truly I tell you, before Abraham was, I am." So they picked up stones to throw at him, but Jesus hid himself and went out of the temple. Okay, a lot of times Jesus got the chance to claim Trinity, divinity, all of these things, but neither did he claim Trinity, neither did he claim divinity, neither did he claim anything, especially these verses, which you would entail someone who is God, who has the essence of God, which is impossible, except for one true God. God doesn't share his ontology or essence with anyone. Otherwise, he wouldn't be God anymore. But these statements, specifically here, they all are things which someone who's God would never say. For instance, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. Now, this one, obviously, John is very high in Christology, but God is, there's a setup where God sends his messengers, sends his prophets, and those people, they show people the light of afterlife and in this world. Okay. Now, you see these things, the Father who sent me testifies on my behalf. You would never see or find God saying these things. You would never find God saying these things, that I judge no one. Yet, even if I do judge, my judgment is valid, for it is not I alone who judge, but I and the Father. So, Jesus is basically saying, I, by the extension and authority given to me by God, I judge. So, these things, I'm going away, stuff like this. Even the verses we just read, just from 40 to 58, right? But now you're trying to kill me, a man who has told you the truth I heard from God. You'll never find God saying these things. It would be an insane idea to even imagine these things. And then Jews calling him, illegitimate child, stuff like that. For I come from God. You'll never find God saying these things. I did not come on my own, but He sent me. Um, you know, even moving on, God, you'll never find God asking someone, which of you convicts me of sin? Uh, or, uh, I do not have a demon, but I honor my Father, and you dishonor me. God is in no need of someone honoring or dishonoring him, or let alone asking a question or making a statement and saying, "Oh, do you think I'm demon possessed? You think a God can be demon possessed, guys? Come on, what are we doing here?" So, yeah, these are the things. And obviously, if you go to this part where it says, I am, uh, there's a clear connection and claim of what people say it's talking about Exodus 3:14, I am that I am. Or if you go to the Masoretic, if you read the Hebrew, it states that I shall be that I shall be. And just one part of it, it doesn't make a claim of divinity to be the way Christians perceive it, or even the way John wrote it, is still not in the same sense as Nicaea, unfortunately. Let's go to. I just don't want to open Discord for now because just keeps on beeping and switches the microphone to the VCs of the thing. But let me try finding the thing. If I can find a couple of. So I do have the presentation here, starting with Nicodemus, the purification of Jews, going on to Nicodemus being puzzled. stuff like that. So these, even though I've highlighted the whole thing, but when you're trying to read it and understand it, you have to see and find that these things are written by Trinitarian mainstream Christians. So for them, you have to focus on the criteria of embarrassment in historical critical method, where if you find something which a Christian would believe to be embarrassing, and yet it's mentioned in there in the commentary and whatnot, you can be 100% sure that this thing is most likely to be the truth. So, stuff like this, where you're talking about, thirdly, Jesus mentions that the Father himself has given testimony. It is not certain if Jesus is thinking of a particular occasion. Some have suggested all these things. They're talking about the confusions in the gospel according to John. Just a second. Let me. Okay, let me try finding it. Yeah, we're not doing Clement of Rome right now, guys. Whoever asked that, we're gonna do it later, inshallah. But yeah, he never mentions the books of New Testament as a scripture. I can show you a couple of pictures and scholarship on these things. Uh, let's do this one maybe. First of all, I'm gonna stop sharing that screen. Stop sharing from here, and see if I can bring that one up. Okay, close this window. I do want to tell you guys that I am that I am, or the extension of these things are a little bit different than how it's saying. Even the blind man is called I am in the in the Gospels, and the way Gospel of Matthew and Gospel of Luke they take it, they believe it to be the claim of Messiah. All right, but let's first do this one. Here we go. See if you guys can see this. Perfect. So talking about from Matthew 24, 4 and 5, where it says that for many will come in my name saying, I am the Christ, and they will lead many astray. And Luke 21 says the same thing. For many will come in my name claiming, I am he. The time is near, do not follow. So you see, ego eimi, ha Christos. That one in Exodus is ego eimi ha on. And you'll see the other place talking about ego eimi kai. So these are a few things which are noteworthy if you're trying to make sense. And it's also a serious matter because this is even Cliff quotes this a lot that, oh, before Abraham was I am. That's the claim of divinity. That satisfies Jesus' divinity. That satisfies Nicaea. That satisfies all the ad hoc responses the church fathers have given. And, boom, boom, boom. That's it. Now, this one states that ego eimi ha emi. I am the one being. So you have to go and look into, LXX, the Septuagint, and make yourself aware of how things are being known if you're serious and you care about your afterlife at all, to be honest with you. Just believing in a man God is insane, and it's a very risky business, to say the least. Okay, just a second. Let's do this one too. Here we go. Okay, so LXX from Exodus is like, first it was done. A lot of people don't know. They think that all of the New Testament, Old Testament, or Tanakh, so to speak, is Septuagint, but primarily is just the five books. And then obviously, Origin of Alexandria put other things, and put a Christian lens on all of these things. That's why you see Psalms and Isaiah having different wordings, this and that. But that's a different can of worms. We're gonna open it some other day. Thus you shall say, Ho Emi, the one being has sent me to you. John 1 is like, before Abraham came to be, I am. The divine name titled the one who sends, a personal statement of existence or identity. The names are different. And that's pretty much all I'm gonna say about this, guys. I've presented a lot of scholarship on this. I've presented commentaries on this. And if you really care about this, please give it a thought. And yeah, that's the sum of it. And inshallah, we're gonna talk about other things. I wanted to discuss with you guys this book. It's for Muslims if you're trying to find good arguments against Christianity. This is a very old book, but it's a very heavy hitter right here. A Humble Inquiry by Thomas Emlyn, early 20th century, almost 120 years ago. And the way he's done it is that he poses a question and then he answers it in his own way and how he thinks things work. And he's a Unitarian Christian. And if you, the way he has argued, if you see those questions, Jesus on himself as distinct from and subordinate to God. And he has the whole thing for this. If you present these arguments to Christians, it would be very highly unlikely that they'll be able to answer these things. He throughout the book, he keeps on asking these heavy questions. The one we just read, sent by God stuff, is there. And it makes almost impossible to justify. He talks about the heresy of ignoite. I think Cliff, when he was talking with the Hebrew Israelites, he was talking about, in his human nature, God died, God took on a human form, and then he died. Come on, man, what are you talking about? You have been talking about Bible for so super long, and now all of a sudden this is what you're trying to come up with. Anyways, I'm gonna head out. I have to be somewhere for iftar, and we'll meet soon. Up until then, take good care of yourself. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما